Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching the Mutual Fund Corner, the show where we answer all your mutual fund related queries. I'm Anshul Malu. With me is Sumaira Abdi for the last time in 2019. First up, a quick check on the markets. Not doing too much. They're lower, but in absence of major cues coming from anywhere in the world, because most of the indices in the world are either shut or have closed early. But a handful of stocks doing well. We have the auto stocks ahead of auto sales numbers tomorrow. So something like a Tata Motors, that one should come up for you, was doing well yesterday and is up and about today as well. Hi Sumaira.
Hi Mangalam, good afternoon. So let's get started. And first up, our top stories. It's the last trading day of the decade and the market trades in the red on thin volumes. Reliance and private financials are under pressure. Mid-cap index outperforms, and in focus is the finance minister's press briefing at 3 p.m.
Nifty posts a 135% return over the last 10 years at a CAGR of 9%. It's the biggest multi-baggers that Avanti feeds, Kaplan Point and Bajaj Finance that have given 5-digit percentage returns.
Mild strength seen in the rupee today owing to weakness in the dollar index. IT stocks underperform.
Telecom stocks in focus. Sources tell CNBC TV18 that the DOT will allocate spectrum for 5G trials in January. The panel led by Telecom Secretary meets stakeholders and all major vendors that include the likes of Huawei ahead of 5G trials.
And sources say that the DEA Secretary-headed task force on creating national infrastructure pipeline may submit its report on indicative pipelines for FY 21 to 25 today. Alright, those are our top stories on MF Corner. Joining in, we have Harshvardhan Rungta of Rungta Securities. Hi Harsh, thanks very much for indulging us when you should be planning your New Year party. But Harshvardhan is here with us because he's going to do us a bit of a service. All those of you who have portfolios which are in need of repair, so Harshvardhan is going to tell us how we can do exactly that. You know, Harsh, a lot of the people who even call us through the year on MF Corner, they basically just go and buy products. They don't see how well they're complementing each other. Where does it fit? Does it match their risk profile? So if their financial resolution is that, in 2020, they're going to correct all of these imbalances, where do you suggest they begin?
You're right, Sumaira, when you say that we're talking about investors having good schemes in their portfolio, but not the appropriate ones. Now, when we say they have good schemes, which means a scheme in isolation, if you look at it, it's doing well for itself. But does it suit you? Does it suit your requirement? Does it complement the other schemes that you already have in your portfolio? So those are the questions you really need to answer. And invariably, we will notice that it is the behavior of the investor that needs correction rather than the portfolio. So if you correct your approach, you will possibly even have a good portfolio. So let me just give you 3-4 nuggets. I mean, if, we've kind of repeated this all throughout the year, but I think this is the most appropriate time when we re-emphasize upon that. So the first one is what we've always been saying: do not try and time the market. Now, as much as we have spoken about it, still we will have investors coming up to us and asking, is this a good time to invest, whether markets are at a low or a high. So moral of the story, simple: do not try and time the market, because nobody really knows what are the highs and the lows of the market. Now I refer this to a conversation that I keep having with investors all the time, wherein they say, should I increase my SIP now because I believe the markets are at a bottom, or should I stop my SIPs or reduce my SIPs because markets are hitting an all-time high? So the sole purpose of doing an SIP is that you do not really get into timing the market, and when you try and do this, you're going back with your own resolution. The second most important would be, this is what we notice with our investors, so I can comment on that, is do not compare apples with oranges. Now what happens is, even when you've constructed a portfolio, so you would have some bit of large cap, multi caps, mid caps, you would have thematic, you would have international funds, you would have 4 or 5 different category of investments in your portfolio. What an investor tends to do is look up that portfolio and see scheme A is doing very well, scheme B is not doing well, without realizing scheme A is a large cap maybe or a mid cap, and scheme B is of another category altogether. So you cannot compare 2 schemes within your portfolio. Look at the overall return that your portfolio generated, and in case you want to evaluate whether your scheme is doing well or no, evaluate it and compare it with another large cap. Do not compare a large cap and a mid cap in your own portfolio. So do not compare apple with oranges. The third I would recommend is cut through the flavor of the season. Now what I mean by that is, you will have fund houses who have who tend to propagate a particular theme during a particular period. So you will have suddenly a lot of information coming through which tends to influence the investor to think that mid caps right now are undervalued. It's a good time for mid caps. 2020 probably will be the year of mid caps, etc. The idea is you're not investing only for the year 2020. You're investing for a long term goal. So you will have to cut through all this kind of a flavor that has been kind of put across to you, and you focus on your own portfolio, which is how much should be in large cap, how much should be in mid caps, how much should be in multi caps, and stick through that. So do not try and get influenced by sudden wave of information or a flavor that is being propagated, and get distracted from your larger goal, which is an appropriate asset allocation across different categories of schemes in your own portfolio. And the last, of course, a boring portfolio is the best portfolio. So many times I have investors coming up to us and telling us that, okay, this is what we've done, but where's the excitement? I mean, you are either a salaried or you have a business or a self-employed. I mean, you have a business to run. Please focus on that. Do not try and look for excitement in your own portfolio. A boring portfolio is the best.
Yeah.
Whereas a portfolio where you don't have to do anything, where you don't have to look, and it is growing on its own. So, try and get over that excitement, the requirement for excitement.
Excitement can turn into shock very soon.
Absolutely, and it will. In fact, if you try and chase for and look for excitement in your portfolio, don't make that your occupation. Why should your investments bother you? It should be something that is happening passively and you're doing your job. So yeah, the last one and the most important, boring portfolios are the best portfolios.
Absolutely, and a lot of the wise investors say that they trade about 1 or 2% of their entire capital just to get that excitement, and the core investment stays the same, which is the 98% of their wealth. But like you said, you've been saying this through the year, and now is a good time to look back at all these mistakes that people make and look forward. So is the new year a good time for this rebalancing of portfolio, or should one do it a little more regularly, or should we call you on April 1 again because of the financial new year?
No, so there are two ways to go about it. So either you choose a beginning of a financial year, which is 1st of April, or you fix a 1st of January. So any milestone that you can remember and you believe that you're relatively easier on other workloads, that you can ideally do this. So if end of financial year you've already got too many things to do, please do not get this also to be coinciding with that date, because you already have a lot to do with your own terms of your books of accounts being closed and etc. So keep this as the 1st January. And in case you believe that every year in the first week of January you're not going to be available for work and you're only traveling and holidaying, then of course push it to another date, which could be even a Valentine Day for that matter. I mean, it may not necessarily be, you fall in love with your portfolio, right?
Yeah, okay, now we know what you've been doing on Valentine's. But
The important part is to ensure the portfolio falls in love with you. People can fall in love with stocks, but if they don't, then you're doomed.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. That's a good one. Okay, let's take a very quick break. We also have a few queries to answer, so we'll do all of that when we return. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back. You're watching MF Corner. Harshvardhan Roongta of Roongta Securities is our guest this afternoon, and we're going to now answer some queries that have come in from our viewers. Shankar Sen is on the line with us from Andhra Pradesh. Hi Shankar, good afternoon. How can we help you?
हाँ नमस्ते मैडम.
नमस्ते, बताइए.
मैडम माइकल शंकर सेन, एज 37. असल में म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्टिंग मुझे काफी लेट उम्र में पता चला. लास्ट नवंबर 2018 से मैंने चालू किया है सर. 20,000 रुपीज SIP मैं कर रहा हूँ सर. एक्सिस फोकस 25 मल्टी कैप फंड है, उसमें 4,000 रुपीज. कोटक स्टैंडर्ड मल्टी कैप 4,000 रुपीज. SBI स्मॉल कैप फंड 4,000 रुपीज. मिला एसेट इमर्जिंग ब्लू चिप फंड और लार्ज एंड मिड कैप वो 4,000 रुपीज, और एक मिला एसेट मिड कैप फंड 4,000 रुपीज. टोटल 5 फंड है मैडम. मैंने मेल किया था. क्या है इसमें नवंबर 2018 से मैंने SIP शुरू किया. अभी मैं 37 ईयर्स का हूँ. तो मेरा रिटायरमेंट है मार्च 2043. तो इन्वेस्टमेंट बिटवीन रिटर्न के लिए क्या मेरा पोर्टफोलियो में मैं 11 to 12% रिटर्न मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर सकता हूँ. एंड मुझे 3 से 4 करोड़ चाहिए इन माई रिटायरमेंट इन मार्च 2043. और 2030 में मेरा बेटा जो अभी 7 ईयर्स का है वो 17 ईयर्स का हो जाएगा. तो तब मुझे 40 लाख रुपीज की जरूरत पड़ेगी 2030, 11 ईयर्स फ्रॉम नाउ ऑन।
Okay.
तो ऑलरेडी मैंने डेप्ट पोर्टफोलियो मेरा कंपनी का एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड, पीपीएफ, आदित्य बिरला सनलाइफ मनी मैनेजर फंड में डाला हूँ। उसमें मेरा डेप्ट का मैंने टेकन केयर ऑफ माई डेप्ट रेशियो। ये सिर्फ इन्फ्लेशन बीटिंग रिटर्न्स के लिए मैंने इसमें डाला है। पिछले 1 साल 2 महीना से इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहा हूँ मैडम। तो ये तो क्वेरी है मैडम, थोड़ा सा काइंडली मदद कीजिए।
शाखा जी, आप कहते हैं लेट शुरू किया है, लेकिन आपने काफी अच्छे राह पे शुरू कर दिया है। So Harsh, if you can answer in Hindi, his fund selection looks quite decent actually. Is he on track to achieve both his goals?
वेल शांका जी, आपका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, अगर आप 12 से 13% का अनुमान लगा रहे हैं कि भी लगभग इतना मुझे अगर आगे जाते हुए मिले तो क्या मेरे टारगेट्स पूरे होंगे, तो इक्विटी में जब आप इन्वेस्ट करते हैं एसआईपी के जरिए, हम ये अनुमान लगाते हैं कि 12-13% आसपास लॉन्ग टर्म में मिलना चाहिए। तो उस लिहाज से आपका पोर्टफोलियो ठीक है, जो अमाउंट आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं वो ठीक है। आपने ये भी कहा है कि हर साल का आप 10 से 15% बढ़ाएंगे, सो वो भी अच्छी बात है। तो ये सारी चीज अगर हम इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हैं तो आपका जो टारगेट है वो आपको मोर और लेस अचीव हो जाना चाहिए। आपके पोर्टफोलियो पे आते हैं, जो आपकी स्कीम्स हैं वो अच्छी हैं, लेकिन आपने नवंबर 2018 में शुरू किया है और जो आपने स्कीम्स लिए ज्यादातर आपकी मिड कैप्स वगैरह में है। कोई हर्ज नहीं, आप कंटिन्यू करें, सिर्फ एक बदलाव करें अपने पोर्टफोलियो में। जो आपके पास एक एसबीआई स्मॉल कैप फंड है, उसकी जगह पे आप एक और मल्टी कैप ले लीजिए। आपके पास 2 मल्टी कैप फंड ऑलरेडी हैं, लेकिन मैं सुझाव दे रहा हूं एक डेडिकेटेड स्मॉल कैप में से निकल के एक मल्टी कैप में आइए, ताकि अगर उन्हें कोई स्मॉल कैप कंपनी अच्छी लगती है तो सिलेक्टिवली चूज कर भी सकते हैं। ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्हें सिर्फ स्मॉल कैप में निवेश करना है। सो एसबीआई मल्टी कैप या तो आईसीआईसीआई प्रू मल्टी कैप, इन दोनों में से कोई भी एक स्कीम जोड़ेगा अपने पोर्टफोलियो में। जो आगे जाते हुए आपको अमाउंट बढ़ाना है, जो हर साल का 10 या 15% आप बढ़ाने की बात कर रहे हैं, वो भी एग्जिस्टिंग स्कीम्स में ही बढ़ा सकते हैं आपको कोई नई स्कीम जोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। लेकिन जब अमाउंट काफी अच्छा बन जाए 4-5 साल बाद, तो एक इंडेक्स फंड अपने पोर्टफोलियो में और एडिशनली आप जोड़ सकते हैं, जो है आईडीएफसी इंडेक्स निफ्टी फंड। बस इसके अलावा आपको और कोई बदलाव करने की जरूरत नहीं है। जैसा आपका पोर्टफोलियो वैसा आप रखें और आगे बढ़ते रहें। सिर्फ एक स्मॉल कैप की जगह एक और मल्टी कैप आप जोड़िएगा अपने पोर्टफोलियो में।
ओके सर, एक मेरा प्रॉब्लम है कि कोटक स्टैंडर्ड मल्टी कैप का ऑलरेडी 30,000 करोड़ हो चुका है। बीच में नया से मैं अगर शुरू करूं किसी फंड में, तो फिर प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है सर, 0 से चालू करना पड़ता है सर। कोई भी फंड अगर चेंज हो गया, फंड मैनेजर रिजाइन करता है या कुछ करता है, नया सिरे से कोई मल्टी कैप फंड मुझे देना पड़ता है, तो 0 से चालू करना पड़ता है। कंपाउंडिंग का बेनिफिट आने में टाइम लगता है। इस केस में मैं फंस जाऊंगा, तो फिर क्या करूंगा अगला 2-3 साल बाद, अगर कभी भी इधर एक्सिस फोकस में या कोटक में या पारस्परिक लॉन्ग टर्म फंड मैनेजर चेंज होता है या कोई फंड एएमसी का कोई टैक्टिक्स चेंज हो जाता है, मुझे फिर नया फंड में 0 से चालू करना पड़ेगा ना। उस केस में मैं क्या करूंगा, मतलब मैं तो सिंपल मिडिल क्लास का हूँ, फिर मतलब उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं सर?
सो वेल शांका जी, आपकी 2-3 चीजें हैं। पहले कि आप इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में आप अपने आप को कंफर्टेबल कर रहे हैं। इक्विटी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैं वो एक फंड मैनेजर फंड हाउस मैनेज करता है। अब फंड हाउस जब मैनेज करता है, सिर्फ एक जो फंड मैनेजर होता है, ठीक है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इंसान है, वो मैनेजर है, फंड मैनेजर है, तो ऑब्वियसली उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, लेकिन वो अकेले कोई भी डिसीजन नहीं लेते। आपको ये देखना है कि फंड हाउस के पास भी एक पूरी टीम होती है जो फंड को मैनेज करती है। अगर फंड मैनेजर चेंज भी हुआ, इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि आपको उस फंड मैनेजर के साथ में सारे पैसे दूसरी स्कीम में ट्रांसफर कर लेने हैं। आप स्कीम का परफॉर्मेंस ट्रैक करते रहें। अगर 6-8 महीने में ऐसे लगता है कि फंड उतना अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस नहीं दे रहा है जो पिछले मैनेजर के दौरान दे रहा था, तब आप सोच सकते हैं अपने फंड्स को दूसरी कोई स्कीम में ट्रांसफर करने के लिए। लेकिन ये सब चीज जो है वो थोड़ी आगे जाके होगी। आज की तारीख में आपने शुरू किया, अच्छी तरह से आप कर रहे हैं, स्कीम्स अच्छी हैं, फंड मैनेजर फिलहाल तो कोई भी स्कीम में चेंज नहीं हो रहे हैं, तो अब इतनी टेंशन मत लीजिए। फिलहाल कंटिन्यू करते रहिए एज इट इज। जब कोई बदलाव होगा उस समय किसी सलाहकार के साथ या हमें वापस आप अपना ईमेल भेज सकते हैं और हम उस समय आपका रिव्यू करके जरूर बता सकेंगे कि इसमें कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं कि कोई दूसरी स्कीम लें। जो आपने ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्ट कर रखा है वो वहां छोड़ सकते हैं, फ्रेश इन्वेस्टमेंट आप दूसरी जगह शुरू कर सकते हैं। ये सारे जो ऑप्शंस हैं वो हम उस समय बात करेंगे जब ऐसी कुछ कोई डेवलपमेंट हो तब।
All right, hope that answers his question, Shankar ji. We wish you the best of 2020 and may your funds make as much money. At the same time, Sumaira, would like to definitely compliment you and the way you've taken mutual fund literacy to everyone, because ever since the show has started, the quality of questions that have come by and the preparedness of our viewers has only increased.
Well, I don't think I can take much credit for that, but I think across the country, actually, a lot of people much more learned have taken the first steps in improving literacy, and I think that's paying rich dividends now. And in fact, AMFI has also set out a very, very ambitious target for the next 10 years. So I can only hope to be a small spoke in that wheel. But thank you very much.
A large important spoke in the wheel. Let's move on then. We have Arjun Prakash. He writes to us from Madhya Pradesh. Has an SIP in Aditya Birla Sun Life Equity Fund for about 5,000 rupees for the past 20 months. Wants to know what to do. Just looking at his details, we don't have much in terms of his age, his profession, or his outlook from the fund or the goal that he has. But all we know is he has an SIP for the past 20 months. Wants to know what to do.
Yeah, so the Aditya Birla Equity Fund is a multi-cap fund. Hasn't been on the top of the charts in terms of performance. So in that sense, but however, we would not write off Aditya Birla Mutual Fund completely on that count. So my suggestion to you, Arjun, is that whatever you've invested in the scheme up till now, which is the last 20 months, leave as it is. The fresh investments you can start in a new scheme. So do not pull out your money from whatever scheme that you're invested into right now, which is Aditya Birla Equity Fund. The fresh SIPs that you do, pick any one of the two schemes which I'm going to recommend, which is a Kotak Standard Multi-Cap or an SBI Magnum Multi-Cap. Just pick any one of the two which you're comfortable with as a fund house and start investing there. Whatever you've done till now, leave it as it is with the Aditya Birla Equity Fund.
Okay, our final query from today comes in from Sabinaya Sahu, who's written to us from Odisha. So Sabinaya has an SIP ongoing in the Axis 25 Focus Fund, wants to keep it for 15 years, wants to know how the fund is. So this is a fund that's top of the charts, right, you'd say?
Yeah, absolutely. So this Axis AMC as an asset management company, the focused 25 schemes particularly, I mean, they've been doing extremely well over the last probably 1, 3 and 5 year period. So in that context, I don't think there is anything to worry about you being invested in this scheme. I think you simply continue. As you said that you want to continue investing this for the next 15 years. Well, this is not a recommendation for the next 15 years, but most certainly for the next 1 or 2 years, you can continue with this scheme and then review, because an actively managed fund. So, you could have a situation where this fund may not do well. So review like you're doing today after maybe a year or 2 from now, and then take a call whether you want to continue or not otherwise. And as I have already said, Axis Mutual Fund as a whole and this particular scheme in particular has done extremely well over the last 3 to 5 year period as well. So nothing to worry as of now.
Okay, and over the last 3 years, this is a scheme that has returned almost 20%, 19-20%.
Yeah. And that's
launched in 2012. I think since its inception, it's really been one of the better performers.
Absolutely, and of it, an 18 or a 20% kind of a return compounded over the last 3 to 5 years.
And it's good because it's not a very large scheme as well, right? Under 10,000 crores. And Jinesh Gopani, I had him on my show Fund Anatomy as well the other day. And all in all, decent.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks a lot, Harsh, for joining us on this day. Wish you the best of everything in 2020,
yes,
and all our viewers as well.
Thank you so much.
Just before we wind down, pull up the intraday chart of Yes Bank. That one's taken a turn for the worst, currently at the low point of the day. One of the worst performers on the Nifty in 2019, and that underperformance, if you must, continues. But as we wind down on 2019, here's a